Episode 15 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube. Here to have some fun as always. I'm Josh Lopez. You can follow me at Twitter at WC Josh Lopez. Still on my current Broken World Tour. That may change at Bound for Glory. We'll see how long this goes. But I am a great soldier in the Great War. You can follow my good friend Adam Daley at Adam Daley 13. What's going on, my brother?
Josh, what's up? We're going to have some interesting things to talk about today, and I might fake an injury today, too, so we'll see how the show goes.
You never know. It's like anything can happen in WWE.
Why not?
Here. Yeah. Anyways, guys, we have a fun show planned for you guys. As always, if this is your first time listening to the show, make sure to check out the show on iTunes and Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from. We do have an audio version of this program, so we gladly appreciate your support there. We're going to talk about, obviously, what's going on with Raw and SmackDown. We're week 2 of the Transplant Wars. We'll talk about SummerSlam, of course. I'll keep you guys updated, but I might be heading to Brooklyn. That's not confirmed. I might be heading out to the East Coast, going to the home of Biggie Smalls for the first time. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, so we'll talk about that later. We'll also talk about some other weird stuff going outside the wrestling bubble in our shooting the shit segment, and of course we'll finish this bad boy talking about Suicide Squad that's coming out this Friday, which is gonna be a lot of fun as always. So no fooling around here. No, who am I kidding? We always fool around here. That's the point of the show.
Yeah, it's we're not gonna sit here and beat our own chest there. Let's be honest.
Let's get into this bad boy. I'll start off with Raw. Just general thoughts out of the way from what you saw this past Monday night. I know you usually have a different viewing schedule than most, but what was your thoughts on this show?
Yeah, so I finished Raw. I think it was around I think we got done with it at 3 a.m. or something like that. We legit super DVR this one this week. But you know what? I thought it was good. I thought it was another good show, and was it as good as the week before? No. But we got to remember the week before was one of those exceptions. And it did, it had just a couple different very memorable moments. Sasha's first title and Balor's first night, so to us, fans, or us passionate fans, of course, last week felt like a bigger show, but I thought there was a lot of good storyline progression. I thought that, I don't know, I will admit and I know we'll talk about SmackDown here a little bit too. I really think that this brand extension, at least in the early stages, and I know we're only 2 weeks in, but I think we're already seeing the benefits of this versus, everybody we were worried about all these negatives. I think we're seeing way more positives right now. And I know it's early and they're still trying to get things, really ironed out. Things don't, it's still sometimes it's a little choppy. There's some missed spots here and there, but I always say it, man. I actually prefer that. Sometimes I don't mind, and we'll talk about SmackDown in a minute, but I don't mind Daniel Bryan saying Apollo Creed, and not catching it and stuff like that, because we all do it, and listen, that's something he can laugh about next week. And I don't know, but I would rather them take chances, and I would rather them, go outside the box and really think, bigger picture versus being so micromanaged and within a bubble, so to speak.
I agree. By the way, folks, you can comment, send your thoughts about the show in our live stream going on our YouTube channel right now. Make sure to like the video, subscribe there. Going to my thoughts on Raw, I agree with you. I'm not really gonna compare this show to last week. This thing is unreasonable. You already had so many things heading its favors. It was already the first Raw after the draft. It was a show after a pay-per-view. And it's a rarity that you even have a show after a pay-per-view that's that not only good, but that good. So in life, always people say things come in threes. You have the draft, you got the background, and then you got Raw. So they finished off a great week from there. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this week's show too. And you know what? I think as the weeks go by, I continue to notice what the difference of what both shows are, and at the same time I don't feel like there's really depth issues on the rosters. To believe it or not, I feel like they actually evened it out more than anybody expected it to be. And I think SmackDown last night was evidence of that. So we'll talk about that later. But some standouts for me, like, for example, you would think like something like Darren and Titus would be a filler, but they made it work. It had character development for both guys in a way. Obviously, Titus won. You also had moments. So you had Mark Henry. You tied in the Olympics. You had Rusev going there, and you go into a thing with Roman. Let's start off with there. Actually, Roman's next program is going to be against Rusev for the U.S. title. I remember seeing Roman versus Rusev at a house show a couple years ago. It was a Christmas show, and it was super badass. This was even before the whole Rumble and Philly and stuff. It was really, really good. These guys have good chemistry in the ring. I do like the vest Roman was rocking. The red works for him. The little Wolfpack stuff, it works for him. But
him and Anderson and Gallows are wearing matching clothes.
Wink, wink.
And I'm not hinting that, guys. I'm just saying it's for Raw, I guess.
Anyways, I don't know about you, but everybody said that he needed to pay some dues, I guess, and have some stuff pegged down a little bit. So we're here in the second biggest pay-per-view. The guy who main evented WrestleMania now is going after the U.S. title. I'm not saying I have a problem with that because I don't. I actually think it helps Rusev get some steam for his U.S. title match than most usually do. I don't know. What was your thoughts on it?
I think people are looking way too into it because, when a year ago it was Seth Rollins versus John Cena for the United States Championship, and now we're sitting here saying that Roman Reigns has been downgraded, or being – listen, guys, I've been very open about how I feel about Roman Reigns. Do I like the character? No. Is this new character that they've done since WrestleMania growing on me? Absolutely. I don't want to say that I don't care about his suspension, but I think that without us knowing, we are judgmental assholes to even try to say what WWE should or should not do with Roman Reigns. I understand that it looked bad for the locker room. I understand it looked bad for the company. I understand. But, if it was something where it was Adderall, like the speculation is out there, I really don't think that – I have an issue with pharmaceuticals as it is. But at the same time, I also know that it's not as cut and dry as people want it to be. So for me, I think this man has already paid his dues. I think that it's enough's enough. I think that this is just more of a reason that Roman Reigns haters want to just keep piling on him. I was really hoping that this suspension would really help him and get – and some of the fans, I thought, okay. But I just don't see, because now, again, Josh, we talk about this. Aesthetics is everything, so it looks like he's being bumped down to face Rusev. But in reality, I'm not seeing it that way.
I don't either.
But I don't understand. But fans are still complaining that, well, unless he loses or unless, why or do we have to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner for these superstars when in reality, all these people that are shooting arrows at Roman Reigns, honestly, are probably taking something – prescribed by their doctor that they would fail the wellness policy. Yeah. Or they're not in good enough shape to pass the wellness policy. I'm probably at one point in my life under both scenarios, So I just think, and again, we're so hypocritical because we go after blood as wrestling fans, but yet if our favorite football player gets suspended, the moment he comes back, he's put on that pedestal all over again, and he's praised and he's hailed, and so I don't know.
Heroes welcome.
Yeah, man.
It's the same people at the same time that are like, oh, the U.S. title doesn't mean anything. Why don't we have any programs with good guys or bad guys without having the crowd being 50-50 on them? And I think this is a scenario that could work in a way because it's not like, okay, Roman versus Kevin Owens, where you have half of the crowd cheering for Owens just because they're disdain for Roman. Rusev is one of those very few guys, not only in WWE, but in wrestling in general, that can get genuine anger and disdain towards him because he's that damn good. Mm-hmm. And I think he could do that with Roman. in this case, Roman, out of the whole scenario, is the tweener in the whole thing because he still got that I'm a badass, get the F out of my way. He's just that. Here we go. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy.
Right.
I'm the guy. Right. And we all know the shtick now. But in this scenario, I think this helps the U.S. title. I mean, is it going to be a long program? I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to be a one of them. But that's the great thing. I don't have to know, nor should I need to know.
And you know what, Josh? This is, I think, where me and you see it differently than everybody else. Because let's look at what everyone was saying, maybe pre-WrestleMania, even at WrestleMania, and this is why I always say, and it's not and I wish people would understand it. It's not a knock on Dean Ambrose. I like Dean Ambrose. It's just the fact that we, as internet fans, go from Bray Wyatt to Dean Ambrose to Dolph Ziggler we flip on a day-to-day basis on who we want to see hold the championship, right?
Yep.
There was a time where Rusev was in that conversation. A lot of people were saying, I can see Rusev being world champion. I can see Rusev. So you put the United States Championship on Rusev. In my eyes, it was Rusev trying to make that title mean something, not that title making Rusev something. You know what I mean? So, but I think most people are seeing it the opposite way. It goes back to the aesthetics and that old logic of thinking. We're still stuck in that, I understand it's a mid-card title, but why do we – it doesn't necessarily have to be in this new era. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's still mid-card. I get it, guys. It's mid-card. But why do we have to carry that albatross over? If they're going to come out with a second women's championship on SmackDown, which one has the hierarchy? What's higher, Universal or World? WWE Universal Champion or World Champion? What's higher, this or that? So I don't think that the United States Championship and Intercontinental Championship anymore should be looked at as mid-card titles. I think they should all just be championship pictures, and especially a guy like Rusev, I think, could hold any title in the company. Same with Roman Reigns. So I think it's laughable that people are completely trying to bash this as like a Roman Reigns punishment and or oh God, what are they doing with Rusev? I don't know, Josh. How do you feel about it, man?
I'll say this. Like, for example, I feel like when it comes to Rusev, like you said, he can do anything he wants. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like it's a bad thing, like, that both shows have different titles. Because we're doing this for competition, right? Like, okay, so you're going to tell me, okay, it's diluted. You're bringing down the peg of lineage of the whole shit doesn't matter at the end of the day. Guys, I'll just be honest with you. This shit doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's predetermined. I'm not going to go with the fake word. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to disrespect the talents in the ring. But at the end of the day, this stuff's subjective. You're having titles. You're doing this for entertainment through competition in the company. Right. So I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, listen, titles are a prop. We have to get over that. And I fall victim of it too because I always want my favorites to hold the championships. And this is a lot of reasons why people left the company. Because now, and I'm not saying it was always like that, even though it was, but it is more so today than ever. The title is a prop, period. Some of our best feuds don't even have any title attached to it, guys. And whereas it used to be you needed a title to kind of make a storyline mean something more, right? Jericho Shawn Michaels allegedly needed the World Heavyweight Championship in 2008, when by no means it didn't need the title at all. But the title's a prop that they wanted to use. That's all that it is. That's why it doesn't anymore. It doesn't really upset me as much. I think there was a day where the title, Bruno Sammartino made the title mean something. Ric Flair made the title mean something. As much as I knock Hogan, he made the title mean something. But we've jumped that shark years ago, and that's fine, guys. Again, live action comic book. We have to think about this.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to this one here because this story I thought was interesting. Started off the show where you had Enzo, you had Charlotte, you had Jericho. I don't know about you, bro, but I thought they had both Sasha and Enzo had good on-air chemistry with each other, and I thought in a way Jericho and Charlotte had some good on-air chemistry. I don't know about the other chemistry other people think about with their dirty minds, but
see.
What was your thoughts on how they started off with the mixed tag match?
I loved it. Here's why. And listen, I saw a lot of people complaining. Well, because here it goes with the internet again. And this is where I like to see, I understand both sides, but let's bring them in the middle. Listen, for the longest time we did, dude. We wanted the men out of the women's division. this isn't putting the men in the women's division, though. This was a mixed tag match. We haven't had a meaningful mixed tag match in how long? And with the setup promo, I thought it was a breath of fresh air having Sasha open the show. I was excited. Like, I was beyond excited for that. And then to see Jericho come out, I was like, okay, where's this going? And then just Enzo, and I want to get your opinion on something in a second, but I thought the promo was fantastic all the way around by all four people. I love Cass coming out, at the end. I don't know. I think this shows that there is something maybe with Enzo and Cass being kind of split into singles competitors. Josh, your opinion?
Not yet.
Sooner than later?
Maybe after Mania. I just don't see. I don't see like the rush for Cass and Enzo to split. You know what I mean? I just don't see it yet. But
I agree with you. My fear is when Vince gets a bug in his head, he runs with it like, he plants a seed and expects it to grow overnight. And for how high he is on Cass right now, which he should, because Cass is an amazing talent. It just sometimes I think Vince has less patience than we do.
Here's something that not a lot of people bring up about mixed tag matches. In a lot of those cases, it's rare where all four talents stand out from that match from a positive direction. I don't think Sasha looks bad by losing in the match. That girl has won as much matches as Bill Goldberg's won in WCW since she came up from NXT. I mean, it's okay. She loses a tag team match because of distraction. I think Charlotte really stood out in that segment as far as a heel is concerned. Enzo is Enzo, and Jericho. If we can have Jericho as vice president and Matt Hardy as the president, then the world is good.
Listen, politics is broken enough. We need Jericho as the president and Broken Matt as the vice president. And I am saying that with the utmost respect for both gentlemen, because they have been my wrestling 2016, really, at the end of the day.
I enjoyed it. But going back to your point about Cass and Enzo, I don't see the rush. I like to see at least one tag team title run out of the two. I mean, hell, it didn't even happen in NXT.
That's honestly, man, that's why I don't know if it's going to happen on the main roster. And I know they're still using main roster. So until I quit hearing it from, I guess, like actual talent, then maybe I'll stop using it. But it's one of those muscle memory things. But I don't know, man. Maybe. Again, I do want this. I totally agree. I want to see them have a title run, but does it? At the end of the day, if they see more money in Enzo being in the cruiserweight division and then Cass being in an actual picture, they could still be a faction and hold. I mean, they could hold two different titles if there's a cruiserweight title, and Cass could hold a Intercontinental or US title or whatever. I don't know. I guess there's so many different ways they can go by still being together. Together but separate. I don't know. I think they're one of the few tag teams right now, I think, that are in a unique position where they can keep them together, have them run after the tag team titles, or have them run after separate singles titles, especially with the cruiserweight division. I think is what's really helping Enzo in this scenario big time when it comes to if they are going to split them.
Here's something that just came to my mind. Like, when you have like shows in between a build towards a pay-per-view, I don't mind stuff like this. You know what I mean? Or like the stuff with Darren and Titus. Or even the squash matches. Like, I'm not going to say Nia Jax or Braun Strowman are going to be on SummerSlam, but hey, at least you get at least some type of interest in them than you wouldn't have before.
I'm more interested in Braun Strowman now than I've been since he was a Rosebud. So, and that's what they needed, though. Let's face it, guys. None of us were ever going to take him serious in the Wyatt family. He looks so much better now. He has a better look. I joked last week, but the theme song's so much better. But yeah, Josh, go ahead.
Thoughts again? Heath Slater just being gold.
Heath Slater is so good, and I think people are finally realizing how good Heath Slater is.
That guy's a trip. And hey, Jinder Mahal, Hinder Jinder is back.
They're not hindering Jinder anymore, dude. That was cool. That was cool to see. Dude, they're having some really good spots with Heath Slater. And I think that secretly, everybody out there, I think secretly wants to see Heath Slater get a little bit of a push. Whether you want to admit it or not, I think everyone right now kind of wants to see him get a push. accomplished.
Hey, don't you feel it's kind of like Bo Dallas and NXT where the security people kept trying to get him out of the arena? I think we're going to get to that point soon where you just have like a bunch of security guys grabbing him out of the arena instead of having him getting attacked by wrestlers. But hey, just like we said, if you need somebody for good comedy relief and he brings in new talent, why not? I like this. Why not?
And I am okay with even like the comedy stuff they've been pulling. Like I get the Golden Truth, and I'm not
Pokemon Go.
right. Listen, I was not on board with the Golden Truth at all. It's like whatever. It just that was always like I'm fast forwarding through this. Granted, the whole Pokemon Go thing, just because it's so ridiculous and over the top, it's pulled me back in. It really has. Like so, I think even like the comedy sketches they've been hitting on pretty good.
Let's go to Rollins and Balor. I don't know about you, but like for me, I thought it was cool where you didn't have a contract signing. You just let the guys speak to each other. Like in both world title pictures, all four guys explain why they're the guy and why they're going to kick the other guy's ass at SummerSlam. You look for Rollins and Balor, and you're also looking for Ambrose and Ziggler. That's the aspect I like about it. I know some people are like, "Oh, they shouldn't touch. Oh, they should touch." That's another old, outdated wrestling bubble thing. Hey, people got more interested into the Randy Orton Brock Lesnar match because Randy Orton dropped Brock Lesnar with an RKO.
Yep.
So I don't have an issue that Finn Balor gave Rollins a Pele kick.
No, and I think it's we want to see a little bit more out of Finn Balor, right? At least we don't need to, but the casual fan does. The casual fan needs to see little quick things that he can do. And I understand they got 2 matches out of him last week, but they want to know more. I'm sure he's piqued some curiosity. Now people want to see more, but we don't want to give everybody everything all at once either. Josh, like we always say. It's like the thing with Sasha. To hit on that real quick before we get back. Guys, Sasha's babyface right now. And I know they don't like using that term, but Sasha is face right now. Faces get beat up more than they win. It's just the way it is, guys. Come on. Let's be adults about this. Let's adults better when it comes to professional wrestling.
See, I see a lot of people that compare Balor to Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan was the guy that got his ass kicked almost every week on Raw. So it's kind of cool where you think like, again, we're seeing a different change of philosophy where you see a guy like him, okay, Rod's going to talk down to him. He's going to come up with his jokes like calling him Melissa McCarthy and all that. You hear that? The OG Bill Murray. I thought that was
I did like that. That was pretty good. You know what, though? I still see something fishy coming out of this. I don't know. I think they're making Balor to be too overly squeaky clean. I think they're teasing a lot of stuff. And I just still feel like there is an imminent Seth Rollins, good guy turn, or I guess better guy turn, not as much of a bad guy.
I like that. I'm not a good guy, not a bad guy. I'm just a better guy.
I'm not a heel or face. I'm just a good or a bad guy.
Oh, man. Seth Rollins took out Sami Zayn. A very good match. Rollins got the clean victory with the pedigree. I didn't think it hurt Sammy in any way. When you have it was kind of the main event of the show. Brock and Orton closed out the show, but Sammy got a big spot there with Rollins.
And you know what, man? I think that we as fans, it's funny that you had to say and it's something I've noticed that we always have to catch ourselves doing. We're saying, and I don't think the loss hurt Sammy. Dude, he just went up against Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? And, you and I get it. But, guys, Sami Zayn didn't need to win that match. All he needed to do was show up and show that he can hang with Seth Rollins, which we know that he can. We know that he can, but the casual fan doesn't. So, it was one of those litmus tests, again, to show off. So, a lot of times, this is where we say a loss is a win, And this absolutely, it didn't matter what happened in this match. This was definitely letting people know that Sami Zayn is going to be a major player, because this is something, Josh, I think that we were concerned about, that without him moving to SmackDown or Owens moving to SmackDown, Sami Zayn might get lost in the shuffle just because him and Kevin Owens tend to smother each other all the time, and that's their gimmick, and that's part of what makes that feud so great. But I think this is showing that they are going to make sure that they separate Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens so that we know that they are going to invest in both talents.
I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I forgot. I got a question for you. Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Owens. Are you fine with that?
I am totally fine with that. I am more than fine with that. I think that would be finer than fine.
Oh, man.
By the way, real quick, can we just get Kevin Owens in commentary the entire show?
Yes.
Can we replace Byron Saxton? And it's not nothing against Byron. I like you, Byron. But can we put Kevin Owens there, have Owens, Graves, and Cole?
Oh, God. Hopefully nothing bad happens to him, but I really see a commentary role for him after he's done wrestling. That guy is gold every time he's on the commentary.
He's good. He's so intelligent and knows what buttons to push. He's brilliant. And I'm glad that people are finally starting to come around because people that weren't before, because this man's been brilliant for years.
Here's another thing about the brand split that a lot of people are going to try to peg down and whine about. Why are you focusing on Sheamus? Well, let me bring a sports analogy in this scenario. Whether you like it or not, Sheamus is an asset that can help for your team. Whether he's a bad guy or just a guy with experience that can help make guys look good in a way. I mean, the fact that they had Cesaro and Sheamus in the backstage segment with Nick and Stephanie, and then they had that match for official title shot, I didn't mind that, actually. And I thought Cesaro and Sheamus had a very good match this past Monday night. So, again, one of the important things to look when it comes to this brand splitter and stuff is the fact that, guys where we talk about that they've been lost in the shuffle or they don't mean anything anymore like they did a couple years ago. They're getting those opportunities.
And you know what, dude? I think Sheamus is, and I'm probably going to use a horrible sports analogy because I haven't watched basketball since my Nets were still in Jersey. But I look at him almost like, listen, Sheamus is like the Tim Duncan. He ain't flashy. There's nothing like overly exciting about him, but he's so consistent. He's so good in the ring. He gets people over. He got Roman Reigns over in Philadelphia, guys. Sheamus is good, and it's because, and I know people say, well, no, it's because he sucks and it's because he's boring. No, Sheamus is a good heel. Sheamus is probably the only true, because I would argue that Rusev has a following. Whether it's because of Lana or not, I don't think so, because I think Rusev is so great on social media.
Yes.
Right? So, listen, Owens still has a following. Miz has a call. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown in a second. But I honestly think that Sheamus is really the only true heel where people just despise the fact that he's even on the screen. And solid in the ring, gets great fundamentally. You know what I mean? I don't think he's as reckless as people say. And he always, any match that he's in, he can make feel like it's a big time match. And I feel like he always delivers when it matters.
Last thing on Raw before we move on to SmackDown, Randy Orton, out of nowhere, they used it effectively this time.
So great.
Brock Lesnar with an RKO. I was marking out when I saw it, I'll admit that. I have my feelings on Brock Lesnar, and it was cool to see that. And it's always nice to see Paul Heyman back on TV. He did sign a new contract, so we're gonna see Heyman back, so it's all good. No worries over there. Heyman's got his contract stuff all settled out.
Do you think, as my dog gets a little upset, I think about as we talk about this, he's very passionate about this whole Brock Lesnar Randy Orton feud. Do you think this feud needed what happened Monday night? And we'll get to Tuesday night in a second, but Monday night on Raw, the surprise attack, literally from out of nowhere. Did this feud need that?
Yeah.
I
not only that, but I think it was the only way it could have worked with the fact that it's a co-brand, inter-promotional type of matchup in a way. I get it, Brock's a part-time performer, but you still had that Raw versus SmackDown thing, and it's the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, so I thought it helped. It served all masters.
This reminded me of why I love the brand split from before, and I know that I'm not like the old guy of like the wrestling community, but I'm like one of the older guys, so it's always funny listening to and this is, guys, I'm not knocking anyone. It's funny to me. You're
not gonna be in a retirement home soon.
No, it's funny for me when I hear people like, yeah, I grew up with the brand split, and I'm like, oh shit, I grew up with Hogan trashing, like, you know what I mean? Like Andre the Giant, like oh my God. If you only knew what I was doing during the first brand split, your heads would spin. But, this is what was one of the exciting things about the brand split. That unpredictability, that things that can happen. Again, I'm going to use it from out of nowhere. And we didn't think that they would use, like, I didn't think they'd pull the trigger on something this quick into a brand split, right? So we're sitting there and we're just, Heyman's cutting a promo like always. We are hanging on to word after word after word like we always do with a Paul Heyman promo. And I thought it was brilliantly placed. I did. I mean, Sam and I were sitting here and it was just like, again, like it was out of nowhere. And that's what's great about Randy Orton, the RKO. That's what's great about this feud. That's what's great about the brand split. And this is, I think the very end of Raw showed why we always say it, but it's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and it keeps getting more and more exciting as the weeks go on. Like this, we've seen nothing but positives with the brand split so far.
I could agree more. I want to ask you and Sam a question for this one. For SummerSlam, which would close out the show? Brock and Orton or Balor and Rollins?
Ooh, Sam is not here, so I'll get that whenever she comes back. I will say so. I mean, I don't
see that AJ from what I saw last night, but go ahead.
I don't think Brock and Randy close the show. I really don't.
I don't either.
I do think it's Rollins and Balor, and I think there's a lot of storyline reasons why that closes the show.
I agree with you. I do think Rollins and Balor are going to close out the show. Overall, good stuff from Raw. When you have shows in between towards pay-per-view, when you have stuff like that, you just have to understand those are just plot points and character development things. It's not like, okay, the feud's going to end in this week's edition of Raw or the next edition of Raw or the go-home edition of Raw. So we have to get out of the bubble. Let's go to SmackDown last night, and show starts off, and I thought it was interesting from a storytelling aspect where you went from Raw ending with Orton and Lesnar to starting it off with Orton and Shane and Bryan looking at the replay of the thing. I didn't mind that. I really noticed a lot of different at least story stuff from SmackDown than I do from Raw. A lot of this character development from Raw has been going on in the ring, and I think that's a good thing. But like going out of the arena, backstage stuff, the stuff with Renee, where he had little feuds coming out of that's stuff I liked about SmackDown. I want to get your thoughts on that.
The one thing I am totally gushing over with SmackDown is when they make their entrances, the little side panels that pop up with the statistics. Yes. They're like the old Matt Hardy version 1 Matt Facts. And I'm going to keep plugging Matt Hardy version 1. But listen, that added that UFC/ESPN/ whatever you want to call it, combat sport realism that we've always wanted to see. And dude, think about what going forward we're seeing this in its infancy stages. A year from now, when these pop up and it'll say like Finn Balor is 3-2 versus Seth Rollins in one-on-one matches or something, just random stats that they could throw up. Little, right now it's very bland and generic because they're just doing it or they're just kind of starting out. But I love the potential that this has. I really think that's one of the greatest. That and how they have Renee Young set up too to do spot interviews is great. And dude, can we please just real quick talk about how great, and obviously their chemistry is going to be good because they're dating in real life, but how great is Dean Ambrose and Renee Young anytime they do an interview? Because Renee is probably like, I have no idea what he's going to do, and this scares the shit out of me.
Oh, man. You're bringing up the little ticker screens. Here's another thing. Let's say like a guy's like stuck in limbo where he doesn't really have much momentum, but you can see what his resume is still. Like you see what he accomplished during that time period. That's a little something even for like kids. I know I would eat that up as a little kid seeing stuff like that. It's cool.
Plus, I think it's important for any new viewers that you're bringing in because I truly believe that they're going to bring in new viewers, whether the ratings reflect it or not. Josh, we talked about it, and I'm not going to beat that horse again, but new people are watching wrestling, or people that used to watch wrestling and are coming back in. It's happening. And I know, look, you can go on social media on a week-to-week basis, and there's more. Wrestling Twitter gets bigger and bigger and bigger every week.
Yes.
So it's more people. There's excitement around professional wrestling right now. But that being said, a lot of people that are getting back in might not know some of these superstars. They might not know a Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. They might not know, they might not know certain people like that. So having these little inserts pop over, I love them. I love the statistical tabs. I think the more they can make this feel like we keep saying, a live action comic book that meta UFC Brock the Gun, the better.
This is small, and this is a small thing, but like to your point that more people are talking about wrestling on Twitter and stuff, I could agree more. And I have evidence about that because I had a guy from CBS Sports reach out to me last night, and he wanted me to send him my article last week so he could link it to a column he's writing for CBSSports.com.
My dude, look at you, my man.
Yeah. It's cool. Like, you got all these new outlets covering the show, and they're not embarrassed by it. It's not like you see video clips where they're like, "Oh, look how dumb you missed that move."
Guys, John Cena just hosted the ESPYs, and then he hosted Kids Awards, Teen Choice Awards, something or whatever. But he's hosting all these award shows. He's hosting daytime shows. Wrestling is more mainstream than ever. Like, I remember the 80s, and I know this could absolutely be debatable. This is one of those where, generationally but I remember being, as a little kid, crossing over, once they first crossed over into MTV. I mean, hell, even Andy Warhol was involved with WWE for a split period of time. People don't even realize that when they have the rock and roll connection.
Yeah.
But right now, there's never been more mainstream crossover when it comes to talk shows, political shows, comedies, dramas, movies, cameos, WWE films. I mean, here, there, and not only that, but independent wrestlers too. Hell, the Human Centipede 3, I saw Gangrel just chilling as an extra. I mean, like a shout out to Gangrel and the Brood. No, but listen, guys, we're seeing wrestlers pop up everywhere, and I think that is, for me, I think that's fun for all of us, and that's why there's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan, because as much as we want to knock one product or the other product, there's something for all of us out there. I understand not everybody's going to like what Matt Hardy's doing, but let's face it, there's absolutely a market for it because it's gold, right? And just like there's not, WWE's not what there's something for everybody right now, and everything is crossing over mainstream. People know who Joey Ryan is. People know who broken Matt Hardy is. People know Will Ospreay and Ricochet. Like, people are getting to know these, and I'm talking casual fans. This is great, man. It's fun. It's fun. That's why I hate to never really be negative Nancy, because it's just fun now.
And by the way, bro, the Brood theme song, phenomenal.
So good. So good. It was my ringtone for the longest time. I think everybody should. Most people, I think, have it on their phones. Yes. It's another one of those. Yeah.
Let's start off where it started off in the ring, where you had Ambrose and Ziggler confront each other. I heard it all last week. I've seen all the shows now since we last recorded the show, and everybody's like, Dolph Ziggler's not a credible opponent for Dean Ambrose. Bro, this is a little funny story. When I was getting ready to cover SmackDown last night, I was looking at the comments section, and I saw two things on the comment section. One, Bray's turning face, according to the bookers in the comment section. And secondly, Ambrose is not a draw. So we got 1.5 right or wrong there. I don't even know. Maybe both of them are wrong. But here's the thing. If that promo did not sell you on Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler, I don't know what else you could do. Seriously, I don't.
And you know what? I would say not only the promo at the beginning, but I think even more so the promo at the end after Dolph Ziggler's match with Bray Wyatt. Because there was almost – and listen, guys, we know it's – but let's keep kayfabe alive for a second. It genuinely seemed like there was true frustration coming out of Dolph Ziggler. And let's face it, guys, we've all – and it's funny that now we say that he's not main event material, but we've been begging for Dolph Ziggler to hold a main title for years now. And how WWE's holding them back. And wait, an even better one for the IWC. And listen, I make the same joke, but I'm not serious about it. It's because he was involved with Nikki first, and Big Match John is holding Dolph Ziggler down, right? How many stories have we heard? And it's like, okay, so now they're finally giving him the opportunity where we don't know what they're going to do with him. We have no idea where Dolph Ziggler's character is going. I think he's going towards the dark side. I think we're going to see something very exceptional out of Dolph Ziggler. I'm not saying he's winning the championship, but I think we're finally going to get that Dolph Ziggler back that we all loved from the beginning. But Josh, this is where it goes back to how like when I joke about, you know, Ambrose being a placeholder, which I do believe that he is. I mean, he is the second championship now with the Universal Champion. And I hate saying that, guys, because I love Dean Ambrose, but let's call it like it is. Jericho's probably my favorite of all time, but he was second champion from the World Heavyweight Championship was always second, period.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the SmackDown Championship is always second, period. So it's just the way it is. But with Ziggler, here's another again, like last night. Oh, it should be Bray Wyatt. Really? Because should it be Bray? Should it be Owens? Should it be Ziggler? Because these are all names that constantly get thrown around. And as soon as one person as soon as they pull the trigger on Ambrose, the internet went, well, why wasn't it Owens? Or why wasn't it Bray? Or why wasn't it? And we were all doing it, you know? We just all have our favorite, it seems like. And you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't, Josh, what is it now with Ziggler? Because we know that Ziggler, and we've all been like begging for Ziggler to be in the title picture.
Here's the thing I noticed about wrestling in the last 5 years. I want to see if you agree with me. Like, unless you have like the top 10, like if you don't have like 10-man matches with the internet darlings in a world title match, there's always something to bitch about in a world title feud. I don't care what pairing it is, it's always something. It's either CM Punk is not a draw, or nobody wants to see Triple H anymore, or Daniel Bryan can't win the big one, or nobody wants to see Batista. Seth Rollins. How's Seth Rollins going to be marketable? Oh, why is Brock Lesnar not showing up to shows when he's the WWE champion? Oh, Cena's being shoved down our throat. Roman's being shoved down our throat. Oh, Ambrose is not a draw. You see the pattern? I just chronologized the world title picture in the last 5 years. And we're still going back and forth about who's the draw and who's credible. It's annoying to me. I'm had it up to here with the freaking notion. Unless you have 10-minute matches with all these internet darlings in the world title feud, nobody's gonna care about it because there's always something to bitch about.
Well, you know why booking hasn't been consistent over the past 5 years? Because we haven't been consistent over the past 5 years. It's both of us, you know. And for how much we bash the WWE, the fans are just as bad. We are just as, you know, we always knock on Vince like he can never make up his mind till the last minute, which I'm still going to always run with, which is so funny. And it's still the Laps fan. Thank you so much for that booking by the pool segment. Thank you. Thank you. I never realized how much I needed that in my life. But listen, man, I couldn't agree more. It's as fans, we have to kind of like steadfast on one person, and I think it's great when we all have different people. But just like you said, like, I don't even know what is an internet darling anymore, because I would have thought that Dolph Ziggler was an internet darling, but now it seems like almost he isn't because he's not new era, right? As soon as he started mentioning new era, everybody, it seems like Dolph Ziggler now, I've noticed like his fan base has switched to like, I don't want to say this, but most of my friends that and I have a variance of wrestling friends, but like all my wrestling friends now that like Dolph Ziggler seem like they also vote for Donald Trump. I don't want to put it that way, but no, listen, I still love Ziggler. But my point with that is it just seems like it's like all the people in my life that still really want Ziggler pushed seem to be middle-aged dudes. And everyone else has moved on to somebody else. Now, I don't agree or disagree with whatever. I think that Dolph Ziggler is absolutely a talent that needs to be pushed. But it's funny that it comes down to the female vote, just like in elections. And females have moved on from Dolph Ziggler. Their new hot 17 fanboy is Dean Ambrose. So, of course, they're going to bash Dolph Ziggler. I guess Dolph, what? It's true. Sam, it's true, as Sam comes back.
Hey, I never watched the movies, but doesn't like Ambrose got like a vibe from one of those douchebags from Twilight?
No, I totally
like
dig
that appeal for those fan base.
I totally dig. And also, Sam's yelling at me now that Finn Balor is everyone who's fangirling over. Again, women love Finn Balor just like women love Seth Rollins, and girls love Dean Ambrose. Here's the thing about
Balor, though. Here's the thing about Balor. You either have guys who think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, or you got the assholes that are going to go and say that the guy looks like Lucky Charms.
Which is fantastic because that means that he's just going to be as polarizing as John Cena. And if you want to put somebody in that polarizing category, they're kind of doing a pretty good job.
Speaking of polarizing, this is a good transition. Let's talk some Eva Marie. Again, the voiceover thing is heel gold. I don't care what anybody says. So she's supposed to have a match with Becky. I heard some reports about a former WWE diva coming back, but that didn't happen last night. Don't believe what you read on the internet, folks. Anyways, Eva was pretending to have a knee injury. And I don't know about you, bro, but I had a little flashback. Like, I remember this is for WrestleMania 22, where Booker was trying to get out of matches with Teddy Long. You remember that, where he, like, faked injuries and stuff? I thought it was funny. And, like, for me, like, I don't mind that. I think it's trolling heat in a way. I'm not saying it's heat. But I thought it's funny. And that's the people that say, like, how can you compare Eva Marie to Booker T? I'm not comparing their recipes. I'm just saying it reminded me of that.
That's exactly what they're doing with Eva Marie. And it is beautiful because, all right, I got to set this up with a story because sometimes it's just funnier than if I set up with a story. So when we're watching SmackDown last night, we're never live, guys. So, of course, Sam can never stay off of social media. So she had a spoiler. So she knew about the whole Eva Marie thing, but didn't know. She didn't look into it further to know if she actually got hurt or not. And so she was snapping. So I'm thinking like, all right, what's going to happen? Like, what big is going to happen? And so Eva Marie starts, or like the Divas segment starts to, the women's segment starts to happen. And all of a sudden, Sam's getting like real giddy. I'm like, okay, so this obviously means something happens here. And as soon as Eva Marie came out, I was like, I just want, and I don't, but it was like, the troll in me was like, if she were to fall during this over-the-top entrance of like the graceful, the glamorous, like, it would be so funny. And like this poor girl would never be like, I would fear for her career, And then they go in and they do it. They basically have her feign an injury. This is gold, dude. I want her to come out and feign an injury every single week. Like Sam that's the first thing Sam said. She said, this is what she's going to keep doing. Her gimmick is going to be that she's feigning injury because she's a wrestler that dodoesn't want to wrestle. And it's absolute gold. It's gold.
It is gold. By the way, I saw a tweet Sam retweeted last night where, damn it, I tore my quad.
Yeah.
I thought that was gold.
That's the first thing I said to her. I said, oh, shit, she nashed it. But no, but you know what? I think that, listen, I hope Eva Marie's not hurt. We joke all the time about Eva, but I hope she's not hurt. I want this to be a recurring theme, though. I want there to be something to this. I want it to be so that way, because what's Ava's biggest knock? She can't wrestle, right?
Correct.
So if she can't wrestle, I think we know that she can't wrestle. But we don't know. Maybe she's gotten better. Maybe let's give her benefit of the doubt. Let's play devil's advocate. Why wouldn't she make us wait till a big time payoff like SummerSlam, right? If she's that box office draw, right?
Yeah.
Plays into her character.
I saw you guys talk about this warm-up yesterday where you're talking about the new women's title that's coming and new tag titles. By the way, like we talked about earlier, I have no problem with that. Yeah. To one thing, I just don't see Nikki Bella being – no, you know what? I changed my mind, actually. But here's the thing, though. Like, I would understand why Nikki would be on SmackDown because John is there. No, John. Isn't he godlike?
You let Rana stay with Ruru. Why can't I stay with John?
John.
I love you, Nikki Bella.
But still, like, I don't know. I feel like in a trolling sense, I want to see her go against Sasha after SummerSlam. But at the same time, I can see her going for the other title at SmackDown. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
My thought on this, dude, is I think they're in a win-win situation with Nikki Bella. I do. And I know I am absolutely getting stabbed in the back later on for that one. But listen, if they put her on SmackDown, I think that there's a lot of plus side to that. It evens out the roster a little bit. She does draw, guys. I know we don't like her, but she draws, period. Now, on the flip side, if you put her on Raw and you put her against Sasha Banks, then you're printing money. You're printing money, So I think there's on both sides of the fence. This is where the brand split again. I do think it's benefiting a lot of people because we're getting to see more of these people. They're able to do more with this talent, and Nikki Bella. This shows I think her versatility because if they wanted to work face, she can. She just came off that award for I don't know how she got best athlete when she's been in a neck brace all year and her sister hasn't even wrestled. But it's whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Like,
I don't know. It's just
here's
whatever.
the thing with Nikki, like she has a sex appeal, right? But she only has it because it was pre-planned. She has a pre-planned rag with an ass and a Joker face.
Oh no,
that's what Nikki has.
Oh no,
the Jack Nicholson Joker face.
Oh, instead of Butterface. No, I think. Listen, she's a sweet lady. No, I wouldn't say that. Listen, if you're able to pull Cena, you're doing something right. No, and I get that. Listen, I have a type, guys. So I kid. My types are I like. I like your AJ Lee's, your Paige's, your Sasha's. I have a type, okay. But I'm not saying that Nikki isn't a beautiful woman because she is. Jesus, guys. But at the same time, I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know why does she still get so much hate?
I really don't know. Hey, would Taylor Hendricks be in that mix too?
Yo, oh my God, yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
All right, I had to see first.
Yeah. Tenfold, yeah. Like Becky Lynch. I mean, there's a pattern here, guys.
Yeah. Straight fire. Anyways, let's talk about The Miz. The Miz comes up to Shane McMahon. He's like, Would Matt Damon be treated like this? And this is funny because I did see the new Jason Bourne movie, which is really good. I hope you guys go get to check out. It was really, really good. He called himself the WWE's version of Jason Bourne, which I thought, hey, they're fitting into pop culture. The Pokemon Go, new movies, all that. I'm surprised they didn't do anything for Suicide Squad this week for any of the shows, which surprised me. But
they did. They briefly did. They had and this is actually one of the commercials I saw. It was like something presented by Suicide Squad, and it was a whole thing about the Shield. And basically, like, unless I didn't see this, I don't think I dreamt this, but I think it was something with a little commercial with Suicide Squad, but then it was just talking about the Shield and blah 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 and destruction or something or other.
I don't remember it, but Miz said, "I want some respect, damn it," all that stuff, and then they start off with the triple threat match, determine the number one contender to Miz's IC title at SummerSlam. You had Baron Corbin, you got Kalisto, and you got Apollo Crews. And Apollo Crews won the match. I thought it was a good match. I'm happy that Apollo won. But there was a big melee after the match was over. So I kind of have a feeling where this is going to be ending up into a four-way match.
I get that feeling too, because right now, and I know we're not supposed to use these terms, but we have heel versus heel, and nothing. I know, guys, I'm rough on him, but I don't think Baron Corbin can. The Intercontinental is looked at a lot differently than other titles. There is a lot of prestige with that title. I just don't. So if that title's on the line at SummerSlam, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. I don't think Baron Corbin can work the match alone. Not that the Miz could. I know that sounds bad, but it just can't be Miz Corbin. Somebody else has to be added, whether it's Austin Creed, Apollo Creed, or Apollo Crews. Somebody needs added.
Apollo won the match, but Apollo did win the match. But
he did. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apollo did, but people remember that Corbin dropped Miz with his finishing move. That's why.
Oh, see, well, okay. Sticking up to the theme then, so that people don't know that I'm BSing them. I don't watch any of Baron Corbin's matches or segments, so I fast forward through this match, and all I saw at the very end was Corbin standing up, so I thought he won the match. I'm not joking, guys. That was me
when Snitsky was around.
Yeah, guys, there's no reason to complain about it. If you don't like it, just fast forward. Like Jay-Z says, if you don't like the lyrics, you can hit fast forward.
Yes, sir. There you go. Lyric dropper right there.
We do what we can.
There you go. Hold up. All right, there you go. I'm back. I'm sorry. The stupid screen was freezing on me. Anyways, let's talk about Orton. And he was going against Fandango. We had a whole Fandango at ringside. This ended in chaos. Orton did win via disqualification, but Brock Lesnar comes out of the crowd, drops him with an F5, and then Brock just walks to the back. Your thoughts on the Beast in Nashville or Brockville or whatever they're called?
Right. Well, it can't be. Well, it's Suplex City, right? Because it's Viperville versus Suplex City. I dig it. And listen, I know he's under limited dates and whatever, but why not have him go back-to-back nights? Because we're closer to SummerSlam than people realize, and they do need to build this storyline. I understand that they don't want to waste too many things, and they wasted 2 in 1 week, but we're really 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. There's only 2 weeks of shows before we hit SummerSlam, so they had to really speed this up, because going into Monday Night Raw, I was very just so I was so disenchanted with this match, and so displaced, where I just didn't care about this match at all. Back-to-back nights of the confrontations, I'm absolutely 100% in now. And so I think they were very smart to do this. I know a lot of people were saying they wasted a Brock appearance or this or that. I think they needed to do this because they needed to put the focus back on the two guys and not the allegations and the controversies that are surrounding them. And I think they did a very good job with that, because I'm talking about it now just because I think it was important for them to make people forget about that. And I think they did a really good job with that this week.
Well, I know you told me in advance a couple of weeks ago when they announced this match that you had no interest into it. So you had Orton drop Brock with the RKO. That's going to be gifts for years now. That's going to be great. And then you had Brock hit the F5. So I'll ask you again, since the past couple weeks have passed by, is there any more interest, or you're even less interested in the match?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm definitely more interested in it. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like this is like the match of the night that I'm looking forward to, or this is, because for me, guys, and I mentioned this on warm-up yesterday, and Josh, this is something I'm going to bring up, is that, a lot of people were kind of really, they were really criticizing people for saying Cena and Styles was a dream match.
I know who.
Yeah. And listen, it was a dream match because they were in two totally different organizations for 12 years, and people always wanted to see two flag bearers come together and wrestle. These two men, they've both been in WWE for years. I know Brock left and then came back or whatever, but the reason why the reason why this isn't a dream match to me is because it should have been done. The reason it wasn't done was because suspensions, departures, and basically both of these guys' bad attitudes. So this why it's not a dream match for me. Is it well overdue? Absolutely. Is it a dream match? No. But that's what's great. Again, it's so subjective. It can be a dream match to other people, which is fine. I'll take Cena and Styles as a bigger dream match than Orton and Lesnar.
I see what you're coming from. I think for me, I kind of have the same feeling I had with Batista and Orton, where I thought for historical purposes, a Batista-Orton match should have happened at a WrestleMania because they were Evolution members. I didn't think it had to be the last match of the show, but I thought they could have had that Mania match. Anyways, it's kind of the same way I feel about this match, where okay, yeah, I get it. They fought one time on SmackDown, but still, where Randy has evolved, and also where Brock evolved over the years, to see just that one match with them, and then you can move on from it. That's always been my point of view on the thing.
Yeah, I would be okay with that too. And that's the thing. I think we all know that this is a one-off, and that was really my gripe, was that especially coming off of everything, the UFC fallout and everything, it was just like, you know what, at this point, who cares? Because there really is no storyline continuance after this,
Correct, yeah.
But it's going to give certain fans what they want, and I'm cool with that. But as for me, yeah, I'm buying more into the match now than I was before. Like I'll pay attention more. Whereas before, I'm not going to lie, it actually, I wrote it off as an match. And that's no disrespect. I love Brock and I love Orton. I love them both. It's one of those, for me, it's a dead end match. But now it doesn't feel that way. So good job, WWE.
I respect Taz. I was a big fan of his commentary back in the day in his wrestling matches. But like you mentioned earlier, I just disagreed when he said that John Cena and AJ wasn't a dream match. It's like saying that Austin versus Goldberg is not a rematch. Those two guys were the faces of that era for two different companies. So that's why I felt it was a dream match.
Yeah, that's the only reason for me too, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be the biggest AJ Styles fan or the biggest Cena fan. Like I am an AJ Styles fan. Cena has really earned.
Cena has grown on you.
I love the past couple years, really, since I don't even want to say past like 5 years, really since the Punk feud and a little bit before then. I was like, you know what, Cena's loosening up on me, or Cena, you know, there was something that you could tell he was loosening up a little bit. And so, no, I really do. I have a hell of a lot of respect, and I love John Cena's character. I think he's so damn entertaining. And I guess that's why, you know, at the end of the day, I look at Brock and I look at Orton, and whether it's fair or foul, I look at two guys with really bad attitudes that just can never keep it together or wanted to be there. And maybe that's why, to me, it's not. But that's, you know, that's also unfair.
Yeah,
you
have two guys that don't hold back with the fact that they are all about themselves, and like in this case, for Styles and Cena had the passion and like they show it. Like I never saw that from Randy at times or Brock. Hell, how many you talked about that England thing that Heyman did, and he said like 100 times on that video that Brock does what Brock does.
Right.
So yeah,
and I think it's as fans, and this is another one as fans, we sit here and we're the biggest hypocrites of them all, because we'll sit there and fans will criticize CM Punk. Well, oh, he left wrestling and he's running his mouth and he's calling it fake. Well, Brock Lesnar did the same thing. Brock Lesnar did the same thing in the early 2000s. Brock Lesnar did the same thing a couple weeks ago. You know, I'm not saying Randy Orton ever took it to that level, but Randy Orton has done a lot of stuff where it seems like he was trying to get fired over the years, you know? So for me, I'm sorry. I would take two people that I know were truly invested in the business most of their lives. That, to me, is a dream match. Two guys that truly sacrificed everything for the art of professional wrestling in two different respective companies versus two guys that were kind of handed a lot and took advantage and took more than maybe what should have been given to them.
Speaking of Styles and Cena, I loved their promo last night. Back and forth. It was awesome. I thought Cena, he proved why he is where he is. And I thought it was a good thing for Styles, where it was kind of different from the other cliche promos where guys go after him about him holding people down and this is for the kids and all that. I thought it was kind of different than the cliche ones. You understand where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
But like at the same time, I thought it was funny when he was ripping Nashville.
I loved it.
Gold.
I loved it. I loved every minute of that. You know, somewhere Dixie Carter was just MFing everybody. Oh, who we kidding? You know, she doesn't watch any wrestling shows, including her own. But
Benjamin Shelton.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, man. Oh, man. You know what? I liked that he took the nice dig at TNA. I don't even think it was TNA. It was really a dig at Dixie and Jarrett, I think. But we all know, though, that Styles' strength isn't the microphone either. But this is where him and Cena, I think, play off each other so well. Cena knows when to really elevate him, but Cena also can tell, like, I don't want to say that Styles can't cut a promo either, because he can. Sometimes he gets like kind of caught up on himself, but Cena knows when to like save him. I don't know. They just have really good professional chemistry. I think these guys could keep revisiting this story. This is something I wouldn't mind if they had a couple different matches, you know, over the next couple years.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, look, I feel like I said, Styles may not be as over the top on his promos like an Ambrose would be, or a Bray Wyatt or anything like that. But here's the thing with Styles: he's a good storyteller. Yes. It may be different from style or presentation, but I just feel like the words that he comes out of his mouth, you can connect to, and you understand where he's coming from, whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. So they made the match. It's official. Styles and Cena for SummerSlam. We all talked about it. It is going to be one of those marquee attraction matches this year. And I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
This is match of the year candidate already. I don't care. Listen, I know it's the second time they've wrestled. I get it. But, you know, right now we already have the element of AJ Styles is on. Right now, hypothetically, AJ Styles is on his own. The club is on Raw. But they're all going to be in the same locker room. They're all going to be in the same arena. They're all, you know. But we also, listen, this adds such an element of suspense and intrigue, because we don't know, is there going to be new SmackDown club members, because the club is everywhere. Yeah. Are there, you know, is this just going to be one-on-one? And if it is just one-on-one where they keep it the traditional one-on-one for the fans, does Cena go over? Does Styles go over? Who goes what? You know, I mean, I think that Cena goes over clean. I do think they keep it one-on-one. But I don't know. I think that this is why this is so fun, because we really have no idea what's going to happen coming out of this match.
And I think either way, one way or another, Styles stock grows.
Absolutely.
No matter what happens at SummerSlam.
Do you think if they decided they don't want to go a club direction on SmackDown at all, do you think this could be a match where they go back and forth, Cena ends up winning, but they shake hands at the end, and they could almost have a twist where Styles starts to go back maybe a little bit?
I could see that. I could, and I think it would be an opportunity for a guy like Del Rio to go after Styles, because you need another heel to go up in that case if Styles gets turned back to a good guy, or you can even have Bray go after Styles, something like that. So yeah, I could see that happening. But here's the thing though, like going to ask you your question about the club and stuff, like I don't know, bro. I really feel like if you go with the whole Bullet Club thing, I just feel like you're showing the fact that you can't do anything creative with these guys. You gotta go to the well and do something that happened in another wrestling company. That's how I honestly feel about it. I get it. People will jizz in their pants and stuff for over it, but I just don't know if it'll work or not.
Well, you know what? Here would be my rebuttal. And I agree. And here's where I'm weird, because I do see both sides. Like, I don't want to try and rehash what worked in different promotions, in New Japan, in Ring of Honor, and other, basically everywhere around the world, because you think, okay, just because it works somewhere else doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work here. And if it does work here, people could say, well, it's somebody else's creation.
Yeah.
But let's look back at the NWO in '96. It was a bunch of WWE guys that were just fed up, and they just wanted to be on the bigger stage. They looked at, let's face it, they wanted to make WCW a bigger stage. They wanted to show that they were the true talent. They were being snubbed. They were this. They were the man. And in a weird way, why couldn't we say that the club is basic, or that the Bullet Club, quote unquote, their whole mission from day one? And if they come out with maybe a secret leader that has already been in WWE, maybe it was a plan all along. I'm keeping kayfabe alive here, guys. Yeah. If they painted it in that style of picture, I think it could work. I think if there was a mastermind behind that said, you know what, we started bringing all this talent in, I did this to make sure, blah, 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 however they want to set it up. I think then maybe we can go with a Bullet Club on not only both shows, but have like a club style thing. Because one thing I wanted to point out, Josh, is I don't know, you catch things like this, and let me see if you caught it, but I want to point out to everyone else. Right after Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw, the opening Balor's first segment with him and Rollins, they instantly transitioned to Anderson and Gallows. And before Styles was with Anderson and Gallows, it was always straight from Styles into a transition to Anderson and Gallows. A lot of times they keep stuff like that very close in proximity when they're doing, when they're taping these shows. Josh, foreshadowing or heavy teasing just to keep us internet fans guessing?
I think it's a mixture of both. I did notice that, but also I did notice that Anderson and Gallows came out of the last couple of segments Roman has been on as well.
And they're wearing matching colors too.
Yes.
So they're doing a really good job. This is why I think a club would absolutely work. I do. I know it's touchy because we wonder, could it work somewhere else? But listen, when Punk did the quick little best in the world run, before he went on the long, the 434 run, when he came back and had that title run where he basically left and then had to come back and win the title. All it was Ring of Honor rehash, but just kind of beefed up a little bit and put on a grander stage. So I do think that if it's done right, where I think it would almost have to be somebody in WWE was bringing this talent in secretly, and there was like a secret leader, it would have to be something like that. Almost, I hate to keep comparing the two, but almost like Hogan turning on WCW with the NWO storyline. We would almost need something like that.
Too sweet.
Thank you. Like, that's what I mean. Come on, guys. Triple H is running this, and all these guys are using the click sign. Come on.
Oh man. LOL. All right. Let's go to Dolphin Bray. That was the main event of SmackDown. They had a nice interwoven storyline from the beginning of the show of Bray attacking Ziggler at the beginning of the show and to close the show. Your thoughts on it? Ziggler wins via his super kick. And after the match, Eric Rowan comes out of nowhere and lays out Ambrose, and then Bray hits Ziggler with the Sister Abigail. I don't know where they're going with this. Is it going to be a triple threat, or is it still going to be Dolph and Dean? Because I think either way, some way or somehow, I think Bray gets involved either in Cena's Styles match after that match is over, or Ambrose and Ziggler.
Yeah, Bray's kind of a wild card right now because we're not establishing him in any kind of feud. But see, here we go, and again with IWC, because, and all of us as wrestling fans, out of the three, I would rather see Adam Daley, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I would rather see Bray Wyatt with the WWE Championship than Dolph Ziggler or Dean Ambrose. And it's just because I think that Bray Wyatt it's been a long time coming. I think that he's a character that they have not even been able to tap into the potential that this man has. And I'm kind of upset that Eric Rowan is back as a part of the Wyatt family, because I think that Bray Wyatt is an asset alone by himself. And I think that the only one that does not hold him back is Luke Harper, only because Harper's that good. And I think Harper's going to be good in his singles career. I just want them to blow the Wyatt family up and just have it be just Bray, have Rowan do something completely different. But Josh, to your point, at this point, I almost think that he'd have to be entered in this, and it's going to end up being a triple threat.
I just wonder, like if they're going to go with one more shot with the Wyatts, where you may not be as over the top where you have 6-man tag matches and feuds like that, but you have Bray do what he does, but Rowan and Harper get into the SmackDown tag team title scene. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I'd be okay with that. It's just I think because we've been there so many times, and I'll admit, okay, whatever. Let's just keep it 100 like we always do. I'm such a big Luke Harper fan that I want to see Luke Harper in a singles career. It's pure selfishness on my part. I'll admit. It's just whatever. At least I'll admit it. I love Luke Harper. It is what it is, man. I think Harper has so much upside on the single side, and I think he could be one of those guys like Kane, like Big Show, that's there years, you know. He doesn't necessarily ever have to have a world title run, but you could give him one. Could be a mid-card title. I mean, he's already held one, but he could be that steady. You know, he could be that litmus test guy. He could be that constant. And I'm so high on Luke Harper, and he's a Mallrats fan. I totally dig that. But I love him. I love Mallrats. But I guess maybe that's where I'm at. But if they can finally pull the Wyatt family off correctly, I just feel like we've been kind of waiting, and it hasn't happened. And at this point, I'd rather see Bray succeed on his own than kind of be held back by a stable gimmick that just because they're not creative enough to write for him at the end of the day. He's bigger. I mean, Bray's such a unique character, dude. He's an enigma. He is legit an enigma.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, bro. I couldn't agree.
Matt Hardy could write for Bray. Matt could write for Bray. Bray could write for Bray. I just don't know if WWE could write for Bray.
You obsolete mule.
Oh man, their Twitter feed is gold too.
Matt Hardy's just. If he's not the wrestler of the year of all wrestling, I don't know who is. Like, that guy is phenomenal. Anyways, overall, we've gone over Raw, we've gone over SmackDown. It's been a fun conversation so far. But who who stood out the most from this week's brand split wars?
Man, I'm still gonna say Raw. I'm giving a nod to Raw again this week.
What do you to Raw?
I'm gonna give it to Raw. What do you think?
I'm gonna give it to SmackDown. I just thought that more stuff for SummerSlam came out of SmackDown than it did for Raw. But I did like Raw for how they helped character development for all the guys that are on that show this past Monday night. So I'm not taking a dig at Raw. I just thought SmackDown did more for SummerSlam than Raw did. So that's I'll go for it.
I totally like those shows. I did. I enjoyed, it's strange because I caught myself last night. Like, man, it's strange now making sure that you have to watch Monday night, you have to watch Tuesday night to make sure that I'm ready for like Wednesday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And but it was, I enjoyed those shows. For me, here's where Raw won. The things that I liked. I thought when you start with Sasha Banks, it's a great thing. But Sasha, I love the mixed tag. I love like you said earlier, the chemistry that the four of them had. Enzo, Jericho, Charlotte, Sasha was phenomenal. The whole segment was great. I liked at the end that the ref ran the title out to Charlotte by mistake, and Jericho's like back at it. Like I don't know what he said to him. You probably
stupid idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I liked that they kind of gave Balor and Rollins a little bit of time to really get to know Balor, but we also know Balor isn't the greatest on the mic either. So we kind of allowed Seth Rollins to tell the story of Finn Balor. I really enjoyed that, and I think that the way Raw ended with Randy Orton coming out, well, first of all, you have Paul Heyman, end of story. But then you have Randy Orton coming out with something that I don't think most of us saw. I think it was a great way to really put that in full throttle for that feud. So I guess that's where this week I'm giving a slight edge to Raw.
Let's go over SummerSlam really quick. And this card is already freaking gold, man. And we're not even at the last Raw before SummerSlam.
It's good.
Okay, let's go over this. Brock versus Orton. We got Balor versus Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. It was funny. Daniel Bryan was on that Talking Smack show yesterday. He's like, me and Shane are strategizing this. We don't need the intergalactical tag team titles. I thought that was funny.
I love it. I love it.
We had Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose for WWE World Championship. Sasha, Charlotte, Women's title. Miz, Apollo Crews, that's 5. Cena versus Styles, 6. Roman versus Rusev for the U.S. title, that's 7. The Club versus the New Day, that's 8. Enzo and Cass versus Jericho and Owens.
So you're going with that too?
There's your 9 matches. And if you want an extra one, you could put Cesaro and Cena in there if you want to.
Yeah, which I would be okay with. And let's not forget
it's a 4-hour show.
It's a 4-hour show, and it's probably going to have a run over plus a pre-show. So let's not forget that I'm sure there's going to be some sort of either celebrity appearance or some sort of returning. I don't mean a returning superstar to come back and stay, but a lot of times, guys, SummerSlam, second biggest pay-per-view of the year. They have legends there. They have Hall of Famers there. We never know who might pop up in a backstage segment, or we never know who might return on camera to stay. This is why SummerSlam weekend. And remember, guys, we always say SummerSlam, but Josh, this is where we always got to keep remembering. Now in this new era, and they've been doing it the past couple of years, SummerSlam and WrestleMania doesn't end it anymore. It bleeds over into Raw, and now it's going to bleed over into SmackDown Live. So really, SummerSlam weekend starts with NXT and goes all the way through the end of SmackDown Live, where we could have surprises, returns, twists, heel turns, face turns, title changes. You know what I mean? So all these things that we're fantasy booking that we always say, oh, it has to happen on SmackDown or it has to happen at SummerSlam. It can happen in any of these days, guys. And I think that's what this year's SummerSlam is. It seems like they've been using SummerSlam as a litmus test for WrestleMania. They did that last year with SummerSlam. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
And I'm really enjoying this. So I'm very interested to see who else is going to be there other than who's advertised.
Not only that, but let's say the way to spice up the pre-show, you could get the ball rolling towards the build towards Backlash, since that's SmackDown's first live show at their the brand, so that's the first exclusive show. So you could have a number one contenders thing, or something like you have Becky versus God knows who in the match, or you can have American Alpha on the pre-show, something like that. You know what I mean?
Becky's job in the Ava Marie. No, how sick did I make? How did I? Do you want heat?
Yes,
we want heat. We want heat. No, listen, I hope, and I love Becky Lynch, and this is where right now it depends on what day of the week you ask me who my favorite woman is in the division. I'm either gonna say Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch. It really is. It depends on what day you ask me, but I actually wouldn't. I'd be okay with Becky kind of helping to elevate Ava's heat a little bit. Either way, it just seems like whatever they did last night might be planting seeds for something at SummerSlam.
Bro, can you tell me what's going on with my girl Paige? She's on a PDA world tour on social media, bro. One thing she's talking about her ovaries are exploding because Poppy's coming home. I don't get what's going on with her.
That's my man. Well, that'd be okay. If that's the case, then he needs to start using a kryptonite condom. Because Lois Lane's fallopian tubes would not be able to handle that.
Yes,
that's going way too down a rabbit hole. Luke Harper would understand. Tying a mall rat choking, guys. I just like bringing things back around.
By the way, happy belated birthday, Kevin Smith.
Yes. Happy birthday, Kevin Smith. But now, you know what? Here's the thing with Paige, man. At least for me, what I'm seeing, and I love Paige, and I love Paige as an entertainer. I love her as a wrestler, but I almost think that like she just wants to take a break because I don't understand how like we were talking about this today. Sam and I were. I think that like if you thought that the brand extension was gonna lessen your workload, you're crazy. Because as we've seen, segments have been longer, matches have been longer, more talent's being utilized. And Paige, you haven't been on TV anyway. Number two, I mean, who knows whether she wants to take time off or not, but she just hasn't been around. It just seems so detached and disinterested in actual wrestling. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just – what do you feel like? What is going on with Paige? Do you feel like she just kind of doesn't want to be there anymore? It's a vibe that I'm getting.
It's so weird, bro. Like, she's turning 24 this year. And it's not – and she's been wrestling for a long time. Let's not misconstrue things.
Absolutely.
But I'm not getting signals from her where she wants to have a different career, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think wrestling's in her blood.
I do too.
But I just felt like, in a way, a little too much too soon for her end because you know how fans are, especially NXT fans. Unless they're not in the title feud, the minute they're on the main roster, oh my God, they're being buried or they're being held back. And Paige is a perfect example of that.
Paige said in an interview that she's, if you believe it or I read it somewhere on that she actually misses the term diva. So for all of us that like claim that she's the anti-diva, she misses the term diva. I don't know, man. I think that you hit the nail on the head, though. Guys, she's been wrestling now for 11 years. You know, there comes a certain point where you probably like, and I agree, maybe too much too soon, because sometimes you need to take a step back. What if she's just worn out, guys? You know what I mean? And I guess that's what I was hitting at. I wasn't trying to like say, oh, Paige just doesn't want to be there. I guess it sounded bad.
Is she like a 3 times women's champion or Davis champion already?
Yes, something like that. And listen, whenever she's on a show now, she's on Raw, right?
Yeah, she's on Raw.
She's already being overshadowed by Sasha Banks. She's already being overshadowed by Charlotte. You know, now granted, she can instantly go into that, and I'm not saying that she's not going to be overshadowed for long, but it's okay for her to take a back seat, I think, for a while. What is going on though with her exploding ovaries and all that? I don't know. I still don't think any of that's real. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't
know, man. And I don't care in a way. It's so bizarre.
Here's the thing. Here's another thing I want to bring up. If Kurt Angle did not show up in Pittsburgh and he did not show up in Atlanta last week, I just think you may have to wait to see Kurt Angle till next year. I know Kurt said earlier this year when he left TNA that he's taking the year off. So I'm not surprised that he hasn't came back yet. But you still see people. I know there's interest there. So that's a good thing. At least there's still interest to see Kurt Angle in WWE. There's a demand for it. But I do think there'll be a better return of investment if Angle came back at the Rumble or something like that.
Totally agree. And I think he set a date in October, somewhere in the Indies. Let me look that up while we.
I know he's fighting Cody Rhodes in a couple of weeks.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. August 27th, I think.
Okay, because I know that. Well, yes, you know what? I did see that. But I think in October he's wrestling somewhere too.
Yeah.
I'll look that up. So, guys, I mean, I think with him still working some indie stuff too. On a side note, did you see Rhino just won? He just won an election.
Yes.
So is he still going to wrestle and like is he gonna multitask? What's going on with Rhino?
Well, he's not doing
Rhino, by the way. This is the most random fact I saw.
He's not doing house shows, so hey, it's a one night thing throughout the week. He has time if you think about it.
Yeah, I guess so. And by the way, he gave Daniel Bryan a look last night like I wish my wife looked at me like that way. That's all I'm gonna say.
Guard.
Jesus, yeah. After he gored Heath Slater, he looked at Daniel Bryan like, "Hey, bro, want to go to Suicide Squad together, bro?" It's like, I love Rhino too. I hope people realize that I love it. You probably think that I'm just like, no, it's called comedy, guys.
It's all good. Speaking of comedy, like I said, I'm enjoying the stuff what Heath Slater's doing, but it ties in with a lot of former superstars coming back. Do you like where they're going with that? Is there other guys you would like to see come back in this scenario, since there's even more guys coming back to? I really think all these guys in a way are coming back to help these young guys from NXT look bigger than people perceive them to be. At least the casual fans in a way.
Real quick before we get to that, I just found Kurt Angle is wrestling at What Culture Professional Wrestling on October 6th. That's what it was.
It's in England, right?
I believe so. Somewhere. We'll find all the information out. All right, Josh. I'm sorry. So now back to the question here, real quick. Who did you say was setting up?
I was bringing up the topic about Slater and how these former guys are coming back and attack him. Do you like where they're going with that? And who would you like to see come back, no matter what show it is?
I love what they're doing with Slater, just because I think we've always sang the praises of Heath Slater, so we've always talked really highly about him on this show. So it's, I like that they kind of keep having him be, instead of being the legend killer, he's like the legend killee. But I almost, it's, I guess Shelton Benjamin's the easy answer, because if Benjamin comes, I don't know when Benjamin's actually making his debut. But Benjamin was another guy that I could see Heath Slater jobbing to, or I don't know. I didn't see Jinder Mahal coming back, but again, I also, because I stay off dirt sheets for the most part, I don't see who's rumored to have signed. I'm not gonna lie, and everybody knows this, I want to see Drew Galloway back, big time. I know it's not gonna happen, so that's. But if you were gonna ask me one name, it would be Drew Galloway or Mike Bennett. But again, they're both in other places right now.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, bro. My feed cut out there. All right. I agree. Here's some guys I would like to see. I like to see MVP. I always been a big MVP fan.
I would take that.
Can you picture a team of Muhammad Hassan and Jinder Mahal? That would just be gold.
It would be if Hassan wasn't suing WWE right now, and that hurts me so much. I mean, dude, you didn't actually really get killed on the Great American Bash. I mean, you just kind of got put through the stage. But it's neither here nor there. No, I'm sorry.
Hey, what's with everybody ripping Baron Corbin for his stomach? Like, I've watched wrestling matches because I got to document the moves and all that, but I don't know what's going on here. Everybody's like going after his stomach and all that.
I don't know, because it looks exactly like one of the 4 Pokemon they left out of this version until they update Pokemon Go. I don't know. I just started seeing all these memes where like his stomach was like the Loch Ness monster. It was like this weird sea creature. And then it was like the one that looked like a pink jelly like Pokemon. I don't know. I just think it's hysterical. I'm sorry. It does look like it. His stomach, his torso looks like a face. It does. I'm sorry. It does. It does. I know it feels like I'm pounding on Baron Corbin, but listen, it's an internet meme, and I get where they're coming from because it looks like a face. I'm sorry.
I want to pitch out an idea for you. King of the Ring.
Okay.
The winner of that gets the number 30th spot in the Royal Rumble.
I wouldn't mind that. Actually, I do want the King of the Ring to mean something. Like we say this every time. Could it please mean something this time?
Or what if it's a women's thing? That'd be interesting.
Then Santina would come out of retirement so that Santina Morella could win. No, you know what? I want women's Money in the Bank before I want a women's like Queen of the Ring. I guess if we would call it. I would want a women's Money in the Bank first.
Mm-hmm. Let's wrap up this bad boy by talking about Suicide Squad. It's coming up this Friday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. There's been a lot of buzz. I'm not gonna read into IGN reviews or I never look into reviews for movies before I go. I just try to have an open mind. It's just like wrestling is one of those last form of entertainment where I can take my brain out and just try to enjoy the show for what it is and movie and stuff. So, brother Nero, I know you're excited for this bad boy. Talk the little Suicide Squad to me, man.
All right. So here's where I'm at with Suicide Squad, and I know that everyone wants to be an expert on Joker and Batman and Harley Quinn and this, that, and the other thing. But look, unless you've seen Assault on Arkham, have read the New 52, or know anything about the universe that they're playing in, don't. It's a completely different universe than what most Batman to Batman's story. I mean, they added Batman in just, but this has really nothing to do with Batman. This is more to do with Task Force. It's assembled. Listen, just watch the animated movie, and I'm surprised because people aren't going to realize that Joker, spoiler alert, are not together in this movie, guys. So if you guys think you're going to see a lot of Harley and Joker stuff, you're going to see flashbacks, Mad Love flashbacks, but they're not together. Harley sleeps with Deadshot in this if they stay true to the story. Surprise! I know I hated Will Smith for a reason, but this is completely different, and I'm tired. I'm so tired of the "this isn't Joker" mantra because there is no true. I just got done reading Batman R.I.P. and Joker slits his tongue in half so it looks reptilian. Okay, yeah. And he is bleached, tatted. I mean, so we need to stop with what Joker is because Joker is an enigma that it's just there is no one true Joker. Everyone hangs on to the Jack Nicholson one because it was overly popularized because of the Batman comic. The truth of the matter is that Joker, or because of the old Adam West show, the truth is that Joker was tamed down because of the comic book code of conduct because of World War II. The Joker started very, very sadistic. They had to tame him down. That's the one that became pop culture because of Adam West. It's the only reason Joker was ever overly campy because he was forced to. They had to remove him from comics for a while because he was too sadistic for comics. Guys, he's supposed to be over the top. He's supposed to be this maniacal, and I'm okay with them. I'm tired of hearing like, oh, this hipster like emo look or this or that. It's like, stop it with this. Look, read and like every Joker story, he looks completely different. There is Joker comics in print where he looks hipster, he looks emo. Stop it with The Undertaker. Has always looked different every time we've seen Undertaker. It's the same with Joker. It's an enigma that shows up that keeps balance. But understand that you're not going to like him at the end of this movie, guys. Joker is still always a villain. So don't think you're going to go in and that him and Harley are going to have a nice little happy ending.
That mindset must be deleted. Delete.
And then, dude, and listen, coming from a diehard Joker fan that suffers from Joker complex, I'll admit that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Nicholson Joker that Tim Burton tried to rip off of The Killing Joke with falling in the acid, but then tried to make it the old Cesar Romero Joker of the 60s. You can't play off of both. The Joker that we've seen with Leto was way more sadistic than any Joker, than most Jokers in print. I think Leto's Joker is going to be the most accurate and consistent with what we've seen in comics. I can't stand the tamed down Cesar Romero Joker. I mean, I like it and I respect it. I like Nicholson. But going back and watching, if it wasn't Jack Nicholson in that movie, Joker flops. Mark my word. Because it was a poorly written movie by Tim Burton.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Hey, don't forget, folks, Jared Leto won an Oscar before. Jared Leto is a good actor in my mind, and I think he's going to do Joker serves as well in this movie. And going back to Will Smith really quick, it's funny. He's got to hit it twice with Margot Robbie. That lucky bastard.
Yeah. Well, and here's another thing. First of all, Will Smith, for him to say he wanted this role so that because he was done, he wanted to play a villain for a change. He didn't want to be the moral compass. Dude, you are the moral compass in this movie. Like Deadshot is the moral compass in this movie. So you kind of also don't understand the characters. But I'm not saying he's a good guy, guys, but he's more of the moral compass than anyone else in this movie. And guys, don't think you're going to see a lot of Joker either. People think that this is going to be like all Joker, all Harley, and it's not, guys.
He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a guy that hits Margot Robbie. listen. Yeah, exactly. But this is not going to be. I think that people that aren't familiar with the Assault on Arkham story are not going to. That's why I think critics are tearing it up.
like I saw one thing just shredding the Harley Quinn character, and it was I think on BuzzFeed, so who cares anyway? But it was just everything that they were saying about like what they did with Harley Quinn in this movie, and like how horrible it is. That's been Harley's character since the inception of Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? She's always been just as insane as she's been like wanting affection and then all this kind of stuff. So yeah, when a helicopter falls down, everyone's saying she says stupid things like, "Oh, that was fun," or whatever her line is. Yeah, because that's what she says in Assault on Arkham. That's the Harley character. She's off the wall. She's goofy. She's like, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't think that people understand where they're going. Which, listen, that's totally fine. It's not. This movie is not going to be for all Batman fans. This is absolutely going to be for fans of the more niche type of Batman work. That's all.
I couldn't agree more. And look at this, Adam. Like you have a lot of obscure guys for different action movies in this one as well. You have a guy who played RoboCop in here. You got the one guy who was the girl's son from Terminator in here. The most recent one I saw. Who else is in it?
Like Joel Kinnaman's in it. Scott Eastwood's in it. The dude that you're thinking of is oh man, now it's slipping my mind now for a second. But Cara Delevingne looks like she's gonna pull up Enchantress really, really well. You know, Margot Robbie was. Yeah, listen, Margot Robbie was an excellent cast for Harley. Oh no, Jai Courtney playing Boomerang, Captain Boomerang. Solid. And I always make the joke because I'm a big fan of and I hate saying this, whatever, you fangirl me out, but I like the series with the chick from The Secret Life of the American Teenager. It's a Divergent series. I always used to bust on
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, Shea Woodley or whatever. Yeah, Shailene Woodley. I always used to bust on Jai Courtney for being. I always used to call him Macklemore because then he looks like Macklemore in all the Divergent movies. But he's a hell of an actor, and I think he's going to be good as Boomerang in this too. So, guy who plays Diablo looks good. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's just, again, we go in thinking we have this over expectation that we want it exactly how we want it, and if it isn't exactly how we want it, I'm not okay that they're going to tell a different Mad Love backstory. You know, but at the same time, they're going more for the New 52, and that's fine. So why can't we just accept it for what it is?
Yeah, like when I went to go see Batman versus Superman, I wasn't going into there like, oh, if it doesn't meet the hype it had, oh, it's a horrible movie. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman. I'm sorry, Ronnie. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman.
Oh, man. Okay? Shots fired. No, you know what? I actually heard – I do want to see that because I heard the director's cut or whatever that just came out is actually a lot better than the one that was in theaters. I don't know if they're just saying that to beef it up or whatever, but me having little interest in Superman or Wonder Woman, that's just – I'm not – it was just a hard – I can't – it wasn't a priority for me. But I'm also tired – dude, I don't know. I'm just tired of people saying that. I'm tired of why do they look like this or why do they look like that? Like, guys, I'm not happy that Harley's in you know, like the blue and the red or the blue and the pink or however you want to call it. But I wanted the red and black. I wanted Harley's first on-screen thing to be red and black. But just because I can't get what I want doesn't mean that I'm not over the moon excited that Harley's finally getting an on-screen character. And they're not over-sexualizing her. Harley's a sexual character. You know, maybe they made her outfit a little bit skippier, but isn't that – they're going to do that with Hollywood anyway. They did it with Catwoman. They did it with everybody. They do it with every female and male comic book character. Get over it.
That's the character's appeal, though. Like, the first time I saw, like, the sketch comedy of Harley Quinn and she had the outfit on, I was like, well, this girl gets a lot of action, even though she kills a lot of people in the process.
Yo, she used to get it on with Poison Ivy, man. She goes both ways, so, like, don't tell me that they're over. She's the main focal, or at least they're marketing around her because, in my opinion, and I will debate anybody on this, she is the most popular female comic book character in the world. Hands down. You cannot argue that she sells more merchandise. You cannot argue. I mean, these are Wonder Woman, all this stuff. Again, we're living in archaic times. Wonder Woman, I get, has been around since Moses, but Wonder Woman really hasn't been relevant. And I still don't. There was no. Everyone that I've talked to even said that Wonder Woman was a flop in Batman vs Superman. There's no drawing power. Women love Harley, and I'm sorry. It's a woman's character. It's not for us men to decide. When it comes, you ask women who's your favorite comic book character, you're gonna hear Harley. So that's why she's the main focal point, guys. It's not to over-sexualize the movie. It's because Harley is beloved, period. I have her tattooed on my goddamn arm and have had her there for 7+ years now.
All right. One last thing before we head out here.
Marks.
Go check out Broken Matt Hardy on Talking Jericho. I'm gonna listen to this after we're done with this show today. I can't wait to listen to this. Y2J meets Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero. This is gold right here.
Oh, it's gonna be so good, so good. I'm interested to see if he stays in character or not.
I think so.
You think he is?
Yeah, I think it's the only way he'll be able to do it.
He's so method right now. It's so funny, man. I love it so much.
Oh, man. Broken Matt Hardy, you are the man. The man.
Like, dude, seriously, we've gotten more catchphrases that a lot of us use. And a lot of us, not just me and you. I mean, let's face it. How many times now do we catch ourselves going, you stupid idiot, or using a Broken Matt Hardy quote, or these two have really dominated like the catchphrase game in 2016. That and beat up John Cena.
Hashtag beat up John Cena. We'll wrap it up right there. Brother Nero, tell everybody where they can find you on the social and all the good stuff you're doing outside of this program.
Find me at Adam Daley 13 on Twitter. I think I got my handle underneath there. Follow my beautiful wife at Lady Nexus 13. Our show at Wrestling With. I have some exciting news that I'll get into more detail about as we go forward. Sam and I are doing a show for a marathon, a charity marathon coming up SummerSlam weekend. We're going to talk heavily about that on Wrestling With this week, and just kind of get the gears going with that. And make sure you check out McCool & Company. I'm there, and yeah, I guess that's enough shameless plugging for the day. And go watch Suicide Squad and have a good time, guys.
Go watch Suicide Squad. Also, I recommend you guys check out the WWE Cruiserweight Classic because it's been badass. Besides Lucha Underground, I'm having the most fun covering Cruiserweight Classic out of all the wrestling shows I do the play-by-play articles for. Cruiserweight Classics is the shit. You can follow me on Twitter at WC Josh Lopez. I'm not covering TNA tomorrow, so I got some free time. Finally, some of the guy, the staff's like, "Hey man, I could cover TNA for you for the next 2 weeks." I was like, "All right, go ahead, take it." So it's all good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this show. We had a blast. We had a lot of fun talking about what's going on this week. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Really good back and forth conversations today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. The audio version will be out later on today. I'll send out the tweet on Twitter. If my Twitter app wasn't acting up funky like it was last week, where I had to send it out like a bunch of times like a Nimrod. Anyways, it'll all work out. Hope you guys enjoy the show. It's the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast on iTunes. Just check it out. Leave a review. If you like what we do, tell a friend about it. And we're here to have fun. We love to talk about wrestling and we're here to shoot the shit. Adam's a brother of mine. He's far away, but it's like I'm sitting next to him talking about wrestling. That's the goal of this show at the end of the day. All right. So for Brother Nero, Adam Daley, I'm Josh Lopez. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's show. This is Josh Lopez, episode 15. We'll be back next week. Have a good week, you rat bastards. Peace.